everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Wildlife Wonders podcast. Woo! I'm your host, the one, the only Seriana, back at it again with another podcast episode. We are back again, you guys, and keep going strong. So if you listen to the last return episode, then we did an episode on the tawny frogmouth bird. And this week we're going to talk a little bit about a fish. But before we get into that, I do want to do the usual greeting. Thank you and welcome everybody. If you're new here, hope you stay. If you have listened to the episodes before, thank you again for coming back. One, to start out, if you're not already, follow Wildlife Wonders with an S podcast on Instagram, all one word. That is Wildlife WONDERS podcast on Instagram. I also want to say, if you're not already following, then also follow the Wildlife Wonders podcast Facebook page. It is newer. I have not got everything up and running, but hopefully now with these videos, I'll have the Facebook page up and running as well as the Instagram to continue to do what it's doing now. Every other Friday is when you'll get a new episode. Occasionally that may happen on a Sunday instead of Friday, but for right now, the main schedule is every other Friday until we get back into the swings of things and we can go back to weekly. I have been seeing all the downloads. I have been seeing all of the shares, all the likes, all the comments, and I want y'all to continue to keep it up. Like I said on the first episode of coming back, I am trying the new video format. We will see how it goes. So I will continue to post videos continue to post the visual aspect on the YouTube channel for those that like to see a face as they hear the facts. Then that will be there for you, and as well as some clips maybe and videos of what animal I'm talking about. But other than that, if you're listening on audio format on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you listen to your favorite podcast, that is completely fine, and I welcome you here regardless. I'm just trying both methods to see what appeals more to people. But without further ado, we're going to get right into it. The animal of the day is the great white shark. I know there are so many shark lovers out there, so I said, why not finally cater to those people that love fish and people that love sharks. We are going to talk about the shark today. The great white shark is a fish that belongs to this group called, I might be butchering this, but the Lasmobranchs. They are characterized by a skeleton made of cartilage rather than bones, but they are still fish. If you don't already know, for all my shark lovers, let the non-shark lovers listen. Great white sharks are found in the coastal and open ocean waters around the world. It's primarily in temperate and tropical regions. They like to sit in water that is between 54 degrees and 75 degrees Fahrenheit. This will be 12 degrees to 24 degrees Celsius. They're usually seen near shorelines, seal colonies, because that's their primary prey. And they can also be spotted in large bodies of waters like the Atlantic Ocean, Pacific Ocean, and the Mediterranean Sea. So 9 times out of 10, you've heard of, there's sharks in the water. It might not be a great white anyway, but there's sharks in the water. It could be a great white. 9 times out of 10, if you've been to an aquarium, if you've been to a beach, if you've been somewhere in a general body of water, ocean, you've probably heard or seen a great white shark. Now, great white sharks have a range of behaviors, y'all. A range of behaviors. But before we get into behaviors, let's talk a little bit about the size and characteristics. I have my little notes here if you see me looking, because there's a lot of facts and I don't memorize all the facts because I want to make sure I'm giving you all the right facts. So size-wise, they can grow up to 20 feet long. For my other people, that is 6 meters or more. The average size is usually around 13 to 16 feet. So most of them are not going to be 20 feet, but they have the ability to be 20 feet long. They also weigh between 1,500 and 2,400 pounds. 1,500 pounds, y'all. That's big. Some weigh a lot more than that. So that is on average, but you do have some people that are outliers. So some white sharks might be a little bit bigger than that. Some might be a little bit smaller than that. They have a white underbelly and usually they're gray or brown on top. Give some camouflage to those looking from the top view of them. Teeth wise, they have around 300 teeth in multiple rows. 300 teeth. Could you fight off 300? I don't think so. I don't think any prey could fight off 300 for the most part. 300 teeth in multiple rows. They're very sharp. They're very serrated. They're ready to tear through their food. They are carnivorous, so they need these sharp teeth. They have a dorsal fin, usually about 3 feet tall, and they're very, very, very intelligent animals. They have very complex hunting strategies and social behavior. They do show curiosity and different ways of intelligence. Now, to go back to the beginning, behavior-wise, now that you know what they look like, now you know the layout, now the behavior might make a little bit more sense. So 1, they are ambush predators. They use ambush tactics. They will pull up on you with the shiesty, ready to attack. So they swim beneath their prey and launch upwards for a surprise attack. So you're minding your business, little fish swimming through, and next thing you know, you're getting uppercutted. They're known for breaching, which means they leap out of water, they catch seals, they showcase their power and speed. It's kind of like a dolphin in a way. Not as graceful and pretty, but it's like a dolphin. So they can jump out the water either to get the food or just to show off. Now, they are solitary, but they are social. Just because they like to be alone don't mean they don't have friends. So the great whites can sometimes be seen in groups, especially when there's a lot of prey around, but for the most part, they are solitary animals and they exhibit curiosity. So I don't know if you've ever seen them at the aquarium or seen them like in videos where there's divers and stuff. They usually like look at the divers and they fly around, not fly around, may swim around the divers or the boats because they're curious animals. They want to know what's going on, just like you and me. They are also migrators. They are long distance migrators. What does that mean, you may say? That means they go long distance to search for food, to follow prey, and better water temperatures. Now, they can travel thousands of miles between feeding and breeding grounds. That's like you going across country or across multiple states to go find you the best lunch. They are committed, okay? I need to have that type of commitment, but they are committed. They have body language. They use body language to communicate. Sometimes they put in certain ways to let the girl know, like, hey, I'm ready whenever you are. Or just to say, hey, this is my territory, back off. Like, okay, cool. You cute and all, or you cool and all, but go ahead and swim by. This is my spot. They also have unique resting. They do not have traditional sleep patterns. They do something called yo-yo swimming. So they kind of rest one hemisphere of their brain while they're still moving. That is so freaking cool to me. Like, to be able to still be active, but half of your brain is sleeping. Who knew? So that's a couple of their behaviors that you may have already known, or this is new to you. Moving on from that, we all have heard about what they eat, okay? We all have said, oh, sharks eat like people, which is very rare actually that a lot of sharks eat people or are a threat to people most of the time. They have other things to do. They have other things to eat. We are not the best thing on the buffet. But their primary diet is seals and sea lions. This is mostly what they prefer over everything else. They have a high fat content, so they eat a lot of seals and sea lions. Of course, we all know they also eat other fish. So they consume a lot of different species of fish, especially larger fish like tuna, which I don't blame them. I myself love tuna. I love tuna steaks. So of course I can see why they like it. They do eat turtles, not all the time, but they do eat our little sea turtles out there. Unfortunately, everybody has to eat. And they also might eat smaller sharks if needed, but that's not the top of their choice. Anywho. They also can do their breaching and ambush hunting for all of these different types of animals, but they especially use their breaching to catch seals because, you know, seals a lot of times spend a lot of time on land, so you got to come out to get them. When it comes to mating, the fun category. Sharks do love to mate. It takes a while for them to reach maturity. So one, they usually mate in warmer months. I don't know about you, but when it's cold outside, even though that's cuffing season, I don't like to be outside. And I doubt they want to be outside when it's a little colder. Who wants to spend their time trying to find a mate outside when it's colder? So when it's warm, they're going to get what they need, find their person, yada, yada, yada. And that's what happens. So that's usually during late summer, early fall. Just like humans, when it gets a little cold, we start heading back inside. Now, courtship, males do engage in courtship behavior. They want to let the female know that, hey, I'm interested in you. It could be me and you, boo. How can I let you know I'm trying to get to know you? So this could include biting the female's fins. Of course, that's not always the most romantic, but biting the female's fins, kind of to establish dominance, initiate saying, I like you, get with me. And obviously that seems to work. They also can do internal fertilization. That means the male puts what he needs to into the female using claspers, which is their pelvic fins. I'm not 100% familiar with this process. If you want to go look that up, then that's on you. But they do regular fertilization, kind of like humans, you know? And then they are also, I don't know how to say this word. I ain't gonna lie to you. Oviviparous. That sounds about right. So oviviparous means the eggs develop inside the females and then they are born live. This is like humans. The egg is inside, we carry it for 9 months and then we push it out, or whether that's vaginally or C-section, but you push it out into the world and then they're born live. So this can usually get 2 to 14 pups. That is what their babies are called, pups. 2 to 14 pups, and larger litters are possible, but I guess it depends on the water, what they're eating, safety, and things like that. Once they are born, these babies are on their own. No help from mama, no help from daddy. They are fully independent. They must fend for themselves immediately. So if they don't get it right from the jump, that's it. They seek shelter in shallow waters to avoid larger predators, including other adult sharks. Yes, the other adult sharks might eat the baby sharks. So you get it how you need to get it, but if they don't survive, that's on them. Unfortunately, this happens with fish. This happens with, well, not all fish. Some fish, this happens with turtles. They have their babies on the beach and it's up to the babies to make it to the water on their own. So it's not super uncommon among a lot of animals. It's just unfortunate. So it's either get your act together or you won't make it. Now, they do have predators. Oh, before we go to the predators, because their maturity takes so long, it creates a lot of complications. It takes females around 15 to 16 years to reach maturity, so like a 15, 16-year-old, and then males around 9 to 10 years to reach maturity. So that means the pups have to make it on their own. For females, 15 to 16 years on their own without getting eaten, without getting damaged, without getting hurt before they can have babies. And then the males have to make it 9 to 10 years from the time they come out. So that's a long time to be independent and hope you survive. Outside of that, moving on, there are predators. Now, I want you to be aware that sharks are the top of the food chain. There are predators, but it's not a lot. They have their main predator, which is kind of overbeating them sometimes, are orcas, killer whales. Killer whales are huge. You're not outrunning them all the time. They're one of the few animals known to be a prey for great white sharks. They target them by attacking the liver. That is a terrible way to go, but they attack the liver because supposedly it is rich in nutrients. Then you have humans. Of course, humans are the main predators for a lot of animals because we kill for enjoyment sometimes and for food. Sharks can be eaten, unfortunately, by humans. So that is one reason they catch them, but it's also for entertainment, for those hunters out there that like to entertain or say they want to catch them just because. And then sometimes it's accidental. They're trying to get other animals. They're trying to catch other animals and they happen to hit or kill the shark. Or because of other things they're doing that they're not supposed to be doing, that they end up happening to kill the shark. And then habitat destruction, of course. The more we mess with the waters, their habitat, the more it can unfortunately hurt them, kill them. Then you have other great whites, other juvenile great whites. the bigger great whites can kill the baby great whites and other marine animals. So that's another predator. So they are their own predator as well. Now, lifespan. This really, really shocked me because I'm going to be honest. Before I researched these facts for y'all, I didn't know this much about sharks. Like, I knew, of course, some of these things, but not a lot. I'm not huge on marine life. I am definitely more of a land animal kind of chick. I love my land animals. Not saying I don't love marine life, but my facts aren't as strong there in my memory. So for this really shocked me. Lifespan is 70 to 100 years. I had no idea that sharks lived that long at all. 70 to 100 years. Some suggest that they may live even even longer than that, which is wild to me. But because of their long lifespans, they have a slow maturation rate. This makes them kind of vulnerable to their population decline. That kind of goes into the conservation status. They are classified as vulnerable animals. This is because of overfishing. This is because of habitat loss. And this is because of... So their threats. Their threats are overfishing, habitat loss, and climate change. As y'all know, the world is changing. Temperatures are changing, water temperatures are changing. This messes up their migration. This changes if their prey move, they have to move. If the water temperatures change, they have to move. If there's too much fishing, pollution, things in the area, they have to move. So all those are mostly caused by us. We're the main threats. But nonetheless, those are the threats, but they are vulnerable. Now, we've reached the best part to me of the podcast episode, and those are the fun facts. I have 3 for y'all. 1, 2, 3 fun facts. The first one, they can lose thousands of teeth throughout their lifetime. They have multiple rows of front teeth, or multiple rows of teeth, and when one tooth is lost, another one just rotates in its place. So it's just like a rotating reel. Goes around and around. They will always have sharp teeth. Don't worry about that. But they can lose thousands of teeth. So you'll see a lot of gift shops sell shark teeth. They're not all real, but you'll see a lot of gift shops sell shark teeth because they lose thousands of teeth. They have an amazing sense of smell. So they can detect a drop in the blood They have an amazing sense of smell. They can detect a drop of blood in the water from over a mile away. This helps them locate prey from a very, very great distance. You will often see that in a lot of movies portrayed, the little drop of blood, and then all of a sudden they're all coming in like that. And lastly, they are warm-blooded predators. Unlike most fish, great white sharks have the ability to regulate their body temperature. And so because of that, they maintain a body temperature that is warmer. And because of that, they maintain a body temperature that is warmer than the surrounding water. This gives them an advantage in colder waters or hunting in colder waters compared to other fishes. So we have reached to the end of the episode. I hope you learned something today. I learned some stuff while researching this because my mind is blown about the whole lifespan thing. But nonetheless, continue to listen wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. We are on Spotify. We are on Apple Music. We are on Google. All of the podcasts, I think iHeartRadio, I'm pretty sure we're on there too. Wherever you listen to your favorite podcast, you should be able to find this podcast. If you're not already, follow the Instagram page, Wildlife Wonders Podcast with an S. That is where I post facts. That's where I post the animals and any updates I need to give y'all. And then lastly, we are on YouTube. Follow us at Wildlife Wonders Podcast on YouTube. You'll hear the same the same audio you're hearing through the podcast host and sites, but you'll see a visual component of it too, which is me talking. You're not going to see a shark in it, but you're going to see me talking. Nonetheless, I think that is all I have to tell y'all. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in and supporting. Continue to like, share, follow, and just tell other people about the podcast if you know people that like animals as well. Till next time, see y'all later. Bye.